Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and this is the video for January 5th. We're going to be doing some operations with Rads. Some of this is review. Let's start off with number 1 here. Now, remember, when we go to do this, Rads behave just like variables. They're not variables, but they behave just like variables when it comes to like terms. So if you see problem number 1 here, I have 2 rad 3's. Plus 5 rad 3's. Well, that's just like 2x's plus 5x's. If I had 2x's and 5x's, wouldn't I have 7x's? So here I have 2 rad 3's. I have 5 rad 3's. Well, I'm going to have 7 rad 3's. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Now, number 2, I have 3 rad 2's and 5 rad 7's. That's like a 3x minus a 5y. I can't put those together. They're not like terms. So this one's as simple as it gets. Be careful, though, because you can get fooled sometimes. Let's drop down to number 5 here. See number 5? I have 4 rad 3 plus 2 rad 27. You might be thinking, oh, well, we're done. Well, hold on a second here. You see, rad 27 can be simplified. I can think about that as 2 times 9 times 3, and therefore it's the same as 2 times 3 times 3 times 3, and then I have a date, don't I? Yeah, I've got a pair of 3's going on a date outside the house from yesterday's video. So I'm going to have 4 rad 3 plus, now these 3's leave the house and go out on a date, so there's a 3 times 2 out here, and then this other 3 doesn't have a partner, so he's left in the house. All right, so this is really the problem. 4 rad 3 plus 6 rad 3, and that's going to equal 10 rad 3's. So they look like unlike terms, but because there are no variables, actually, I can turn it into like terms in some situations. All right, so that's how we add rads or subtract. It's done the same way. It's pretty simple. We have to simplify the rad if possible, and then we can combine any like terms that we might have. All right, now multiplying and dividing is done very similarly, but you got to be careful. Some of you are going to see 2 quantities and you're going to think, oh, it's double distribution. It's not. This is not double distribution. There are no pluses or minuses. It's straight multiplication. This problem is the same as, number 3 is the same as 3x times 2y. And so I'd multiply 3 times 2 and get 6, and x times y and get xy, right? That's what I'm going to do over here. I'm going to do 3 times 2, and I'm going to get 6. And then rad 5 times rad 5. I'm not going to put rad 25 in there. I'm going to leave it as rad 5 times rad 5. And notice, look at that, I got a date. The 5's leave the house, go on a date. So we're going to have 5 times 6 out front, which is 30. So if you don't believe me, take 3 rad 5, multiply it by 2 rad 5, and you will get 30. Now, it's kind of cool that you can take an irrational number times an irrational number and end up with a rational number. It's pretty cool. All right, so let's try number 4 here. I'm going to multiply 4 times 6. I'm going to get 24. Now, in this case, I know I'm going to do rad 8 times rad 2. Well, that's 8 times 2. Well, isn't 8 times 2 16? But I'm going to think about that 16 as 4 times 4. You see what I did? I just did 8 times 2, and then I broke that up, 16, into 4 times 4. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could break it up into 8 times 2 and then break down the 8, but it just seems like so much work when you're just going to get rad 16. So in this case, let's see, we've got some dates here. Oh, a date, we've got some 4's leaving on a date. So we've got a 24 out front. So we're going to have 24 times 4. 96, I think. That just doesn't seem right. Yeah, 96. There we go. All right. Now, you won't always get a rational number. Those are just the 2 examples I happen to pick. There's a third example over here of 5 rad 5 times 3 rad 10. Well, I'm going to multiply the 5 and the 3, and I'm going to get 15. And then I'm going to have a 5 times a rad 10. Now, I'm going to think about the 5 rad 10 as 5 times 5 times 2. And look at that, I've got a pair of 5's that want to go out on a date. So outside I'll have 5 times 15. Inside I'll have rad 2, and I believe that will be 75 out front and the rad 2 left. And there's your answer, an irrational number. So it is pretty simple with the addition. We just combine like terms. Sometimes we have to simplify to get like terms. And then with multiplication, we multiply the coefficients, we multiply the rads, we simplify if possible. All right, well, let's see here. Let's get ourselves in eraser mode, and I'm going to give you a video quiz now. It's just going to be 2 problems. We're going to get some practice with this. And again, some of this is review. So we're building towards the next thing we're going to. Okay. So let's see here. All right. Problem number 1. This is the video quiz. I can't put it on a new page, but you know, some of you like to turn in papers, did the wrong problems. Well, here's the video quiz. And problem number 1 is just going to be 7 rad 2 times 5 rad 6. Okay? And problem number 2 is going to be 8 rad 5 minus 2 rad 20. Okay, so one's a multiplication problem, not double distribution. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And then one is a subtraction problem. All right, that's it for the video. Nice and short. Morgan Snitko will like it then because it's not 15 minutes long. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.